Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 532 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined by the duo of Stephen Kyle Brackey and Ben Funky Askren, the peaceful Ben Askren. Ben, how are you today?
Sometimes peaceful, sometimes aggressive. You never know what you're going to get. You know what? I have a question for you guys to start the show.
Okay, great.
I was just listening to a couple podcasts this morning. I woke up really early. I have no idea why. It was weird. I'm never up early. And they were talking about, obviously, the pandemic and, you know, how the future will likely look different. And the guy was stating, you know, he said, I think, you know, people think once it's over, we're going to go back to life as normal. But I think there will be a significant amount of changes. And so for you guys, I'm curious, and I know like one of them for AWA. Are there any changes you guys have made at Flow that you think are like, wow, this is way better? Why didn't we just do this before? And we're definitely just going to keep doing this.
No.
We got this sick new hand washer.
Okay, yeah, we have cool hand. Actually, yes. The coolest thing is we have the little foot door opener thing that you just open the door with your foot.
I don't like that as much as CP.
I love it. That's what I.
Well, that's always so annoying because you're supposed to wash your hands after you take a shit, but then you got to put your hands on the door handle. And it's like, this is no good. Yeah. I was in I don't remember which airport. Whatever airport I flew from Austin, I stopped at an airport. I don't recall what it was. Christian, you helped me get coffee there, wherever I was. They had this gimmick in the sink where they had a soap, a hand wash, and then a hand dry, all in the just in a line. So they had like a line of three of them. So you went soap, wash, boom. It was really cool. I'm like, damn, that should be everywhere.
I like that. Yeah, as far as hand washing goes, well, we did get two. We had like a paper towel dispenser. Now we have the automatic ones, the motion sensor. You may have got to use those. That's pretty baller. Yeah. We have two of those.
I thought you were telling me something exciting. So I'll give you one for our academy. So one of the things we did when we came back is we put a 30-minute gap in between the practices so the groups don't overlap, right? They used to be back-to-back. So, but then both groups would be in the facility, and we didn't really want that to be the case with Corona, so we split them. And you know what? I really like the gap. It's like I get to chat with the kids a few minutes after practice. The next kids come in. I get to chat with them for a few minutes before practice. It's not so crowded, if you will. So, for example, that's one thing that I'm guessing will probably stick with us.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of one thing you need to remember is 95% of Flow Sports employees are still working remotely. So it's like
95?
Oh, yeah.
There are I would say
crap.
There's like, yeah. Well, okay, if we have 300 employees,
dude, you're pretty close to accurate.
Yeah, it's probably around.
Wow.
Yeah, no one's coming in. So it's like the same probably 10 to 12 people every single day.
Yeah.
So it's like the wrestling team, a couple other people, senior level people, and that's it. So it's not a lot of people there. So it's not like we've the changes they've made is like, all right, we can't have but so many people in a conference room. You have to wear masks if you're not at your desk. You have to wipe down stuff after you use it.
So nothing good.
Oh, another thing I like. Well, you know, I've always been kind of like very germ conscious to begin with. Okay. And so we have a new thing with our utensils. We used to have these just baskets that had all the forks, all the knives, all the spoons in it, and they were just out there. So you would touch 2 forks to probably get one. Well, now they're all individually wrapped. So you just grab a spoon and you take it out of the wrapper.
Oh, Christian, you're not exciting me this morning. I thought
there's nothing going on.
Cool.
There's nothing happening.
Nothing cool happened. Nothing cool.
We don't have wrestling practices here, Ben. You know, we're not teaching.
I just figured there was something that maybe I don't know.
There's nothing cool about this. Listen, Fonz. There's nothing neat.
Zero.
I mean, the only thing are just hygiene related. We don't have anything cool like that. I hate it. I want more people around. I like people. I like talking to all the people.
Really? I don't like people.
Yes.
I mean, I like talking to you guys, but like, for example, I have my land and no one can see my house. And so like this morning I'm up and like, I always hated in my old neighborhood when I lived in Wauwatosa, they have real small lots, and I come out and everyone's trying to talk to me. It's like, at first, I just want to do what I do this morning. I want to take my garbage out or fix my chainsaw. I don't want to talk to anyone this morning.
Oh, listen, I'm the same way. I don't like that. I don't want to. I basically don't want to talk to anyone I don't know in general. When I'm like at The worst thing for me is you should be pretty deep into the birthday party circuit with your kids now. Go there. I don't like going there. You don't have to do that. Well, I do sometimes. You go there, you got to talk to these parents. I don't want to talk to you. I don't even know you. That's
mean
just
guy, Christian.
I'm not mean. No, I'm very nice. But I just have no interest in like. I'm not good at small talk, and then I have to like explain what I do, and I know it sounds weird when I talk about it, so I just don't even like talking about it. Because they have no idea what wrestling even is. So yeah, I'm similar in that way. So yeah, we both don't like people, I guess, maybe.
All right. Kyle like people?
Not really.
No, he's worse than all of us.
No. Kyle, if you could hang out with aliens or people, what would it be?
Oh, aliens for sure.
That's a roll of the dice there.
You got to figure out what's going on. You seem to pick their brains a little bit.
What makes you think you'd be able to communicate with them?
Yeah,
come on.
Seriously.
Come on.
Listen, the universal language is math, I'm told. I mean, are you going to get into a math situation with them?
No, they speak English.
Oh,
my God.
They're very intelligent.
Yeah, it is. I guess it's not unthinkable that they would just be able to speak every language. So maybe it's that.
Dude, if they speak every language, we're F. They would just take us over, Christian. They'd be that much smarter.
Yeah, well, they can't, apparently.
That would not be good.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good. Hey, so other not good things. There's apparently like a coaches meeting or something. There's not going to be fall wrestling Division I, I believe.
I kind of figured that was the case.
It's been trending that way, and now it looks like basically it's all but official that there's not going to be any fall wrestling. So the season will start in January and go through March, and what that looks like exactly, I don't know. I'm sure those schedules have not been created, but I am thinking that's what it's going to look like. And, you think about some tournaments like Reno and CKLV that happen. I don't think we're going to have any opens. I think that's almost decided. But the invitationals, are those going to happen? Will they get moved? I don't know. Mm-hmm. The Scuffle is normally the first start of the year, so you would think that tournament would still be able to happen. Midlands is at the end of the year, so would they move that? I don't know. So a lot to be determined. It's possible that I wouldn't be surprised if it looks like this. You've got your dual season, your conference dual season, conferences, NCAAs. Or maybe
do you think the NCAA moves at all, or do you think they keep that where it's at?
Well, I don't think it's that simple to move.
Not so easy. Yeah.
Right? It's like you could probably move conferences very easily, but you can't move. I mean, the St. Louis is ready. Like they have this weekend blocked off, and the Scott Trade Center is probably other weeks is going to be utilized for whatever it is they do there. The Blues, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't know if they'll be playing because the NHL season is all messed up. They're playing right now. They're playing hockey in August. It never happens.
Okay. I don't know when hockey's played, to be honest.
I mean, that would be then. That's during a normal season, but
doesn't hockey usually end with like basketball, Kyle?
Yeah, the Stanley Cup Finals are usually in June, so you'd be in the regular season then in March. But I don't know if their schedule's going to be all messed up because they're playing much later than they usually are.
At least the ice doesn't melt. I figured it would in August.
Yeah,
we're lucky.
They're taking good care of it. They play. The NHL did it really cool. Instead of one bubble like NBA, they have two bubbles.
Double bubble.
Yes.
Yeah,
double
exactly.
Bubble.
One's in Edmonton and the other in Toronto, I think. They play like 4 games a day.
Really?
At each
Why
arena.
did they put them all in Canada?
I don't know.
Maybe
less Corona?
Probably. Less Corona.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it is doing better there. But they didn't do the NBA there in Toronto. They're doing it in Orlando.
Where there's lots of Corona.
It's doing better. The Arizona, Texas, and Florida are doing better now. It's improving. And we didn't have to shut down, thankfully.
Christian, maybe you were the super spreader.
It's possible. Am I the...
I've
never had it.
Went down.
Or maybe I had it. I haven't been tested. I haven't been sick, at least. So if I came in contact with it, I neutralized the threat. But who knows? I haven't been tested, so I don't know. So season's going to look really different. We already knew that. But now it's looking a little more like we're not going to have a fall portion. So
and D3 and D2 went ahead and canceled fall championships yesterday.
I saw that. Yeah.
Which D3 was already pretty much canceled because a bunch of the schools had already said they weren't playing in the fall. And they said you had to have like 50% of the participating teams to be able to have a championship, and they just decided not to do it because it's really expensive to follow all the NCAA guidelines for testing. And all these schools just can't afford to do it. But the D1 has until August 21st to make a decision. But football doesn't fall under that. That would be for all the other sports. Yeah.
Football's not governed by the NCAA anymore?
It technically is, but the championship is not like put on by the NCAA. Like the college football playoff is its own separate entity.
Interesting. I saw that University of Wisconsin football put their schedule out yesterday.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting.
The full ACC schedule just came out this morning with like all the teams' non-conference games in there as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of positive. There's a lot of negative. What I do like about all these football schedules is all the conferences are giving like wiggle room. Like there's more open weeks. They have flexibility to push the conference championship back a week or two. So they're like bracing that there's going to be at least 1 or 2 games canceled, delayed. They're going to need to move stuff around. So I like that they're planning for that. Not just going to hopefully freak out once one teams has like 10 or 12 cases. So what's going to happen?
And as I look at the changes, one thing that I think is becoming a little more clear is senior nationals in Iowa and potentially U23s are going to be have gangbusters participation. Because these dudes, you would think, right? I think if it's possible, and as long as these guys are able to, these guys are going to want to show up and wrestle there. So they're going to try to make you. And really, it would make a lot of sense because a lot of schools, like Ohio State, like they'll send a lot of guys to U23s, but not every team like goes full bore at it because basically you make U23s. The last couple of years, those have been in like November or like late fall for the season.
A lot of guys who won U23s just didn't even go.
Yeah.
They just forfeited the spot over to whoever was. The one went down to like the 4th place finisher.
Yes.
People kept saying no.
So what it looks like this year, I think it makes a lot more sense. So I can't remember if U23 trials are in September, October. I think they're in October now. I think they were originally
they're October. I saw October 23 through 25. I think were U23s and UWW juniors.
Nice. Okay. So and then like
they should really throw. You should tell USA Wrestling. I know you got their ear. You should tell them to throw UWW cadets on just as a nationals. Because all of these 15 through 17-year-olds missed all these opportunities to be recruited. So despite the fact that they can't go to Worlds, it would be nice to have that tournament for them still.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
I don't think they will do that, is what I think.
Damn. Why not?
I'll ask. You know what? I'll ask. I'll say, hey, Ben wanted me to ask. So
I'll see why not.
Yeah, I don't know. They're probably just trying to keep it simple because there's not going to be Cadet Worlds. So they're like, okay. They're just probably trying to do not. I don't want to make it sound like they're trying to do the least, but they're like just trying to keep it manageable because it's certainly going to be a unique year.
Speaking of the going to be seniors and going to be juniors getting screwed, I just shared a post with my AWA members that is scary for Super 32. It said 4 to 6 more weeks of North Carolina having bars and gyms staying closed.
So it's weird.
What?
JMZ, American Hero, was like, North Carolina is like open, and because I was surprised. So he comes and stays here in Austin in the summers, and he goes back to school in North Carolina during the school year. And I'm like, why are you going back? Are y'all actually going? He's like, dude, we never stopped going to classes. We just like going, and we do classes in person there for college. So that.
We have till late October too.
Well, that's when it is, right? But they're gonna have to make gonna have to make a decision.
True.
I would imagine in the next month, right? I mean, it's August, so in September they will have. I'm sure they will make a final decision. So,
well, they would be having. They always had those qualified tournaments. Some of those were in August previously.
Right. No, those are early August and September. I wonder if those get scrapped and they just try to make it all.
An open, right? Something. I mean, usually it's not open, but you're not going to have as many people wanting to travel, so you might as well just make it an open.
That's a good point. The numbers will probably be down, just with everything going on in the world. So, they could probably just let everyone in. Whereas like Super 32 is so elite, and there's so many people want to go. Yet they had to somewhat limit who does and doesn't come.
Somewhat limited. It was heavily limited. I had
Really?
kids that freaking. Oh, dude. So they did that. You had the qualification spots, right? Like if you were top 4 at state or whatever it is, and you had the pre-qualifier tournaments. And then it was like, I don't know, let's say a month before the tournament or something, where they would open up to register for whatever spots they had left. Dude, they sold out in like 5 minutes every single time.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I would have people be online and they would not get spots.
Yeah. It's it's the place to be. That's for sure for high school wrestling. It's number one. Well, so hopefully that won't be, hopefully everyone that wants to go can go. Hopefully Super 32 happens. I know, Ben, you can't wait for your sophomores and juniors to show out because you're feeling really good about those guys. Yeah.
Trying to get some matches for them. Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that happens. But what I was saying about U23s is normally it would fall like right at the beginning of the season. It doesn't make sense. But U23 Worlds would be in like mid-November. And so if you do that and the season doesn't start till January, that's plenty of time for them to make the team, do Worlds, come home, rest, and then be plenty of time to gear back up for the season's beginning. Whereas that wasn't really possible previously.
Yeah.
So it won't be the grind. I mean, a lot of athletes have said like, they make the team in spring and they're in camps, all summer long, and then they compete at Worlds and then they go back to school. It's just it's some guys can recover and some don't. I think Hayden Hidley was a guy that kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
Gabe Dean, I think the 1 year he was junior world bronze, he came back and then, he had some weird Vegas losses and it took him a little bit to kind of get back up, and he eventually won NCAAs, but it takes a little bit.
Yeah, you're gonna have a bunch of kids who have had more time off than they've ever had time off in the history of their lives.
Right. So
seriously.
Yeah, so U23s and senior nationals, Bracky put it in the doc. It is going to be an Olympic redshirt criteria tournament. So Bracky, talk a little bit about what they need to do to get that.
I'm pretty sure just place top 6. You place top 6 here.
Is it 6 or 8?
Top 8. So it's even. I think you're going to see a flood of college guys go there. Because, I mean, they don't want to lose another year of eligibility. And if the season's in doubt, you go there, you get top 8, you Olympic redshirt. You're good.
So you can get another. But you would have already started your academic year, so I guess you don't have to declare immediately whether you're Olympic redshirting or not. Right, because you'll be
apparently not.
You can be in school. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
Because the season wouldn't have started on October 9th through 11th.
You know what I'm wondering? As there's so much question about the season and whatnot, and people, being so wary of what happened last year happening again. I wonder if we see guys like literally don't pull their red shirts until Big Tens.
Oh yeah,
like Spencer Lee. Man, do you really wrestle him before? I mean, it's terrible to think about not watching him in any dual meets and what that would mean for Iowa and, if they have home matches or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, let's get a little further down the line. We have some clarity. And maybe by January,
I agree.
We're so far away right now. Who knows what it's going to be like in January? Maybe it's like, there'll be a vaccine. Who knows? I don't know that. But the world could be, think how much things have changed in a couple months, right? So things maybe could be dramatically better and they'll have a better idea by January. But maybe not. And if not, if there's still uncertainty, like, okay, we're starting, I hope this happens, I think we're going to see massive amounts of red shirts.
Hey, so you know what that made me think, Christian? I don't know if this is possible. Because you said, they wouldn't pull their red shirts till Big Tens, right? But then you also said there probably won't be opens because there won't be a fall wrestling season. And what it made me think is, can we go full Kevin Dresser and just do an open every other weekend?
Last chance open with your team.
Every weekend.
I love it.
Last chance you open.
Get some mat time.
Maybe you wouldn't do it with your team. Maybe you'd call up like 3 other teams. You'd say, hey, these 4 teams, we're going Afton quadrangular style, open, bring your crew, I'll bring my crew. We'll get some matches in.
Yeah.
Is that legal?
Why not? I'm sure it'll be legal. Well, it's legal, but will they be allowing opens? Right? Will they allow anything like that? I don't know.
Huh? Yeah. That'd be interesting.
That's
interesting tactic you're taking there.
Who, me? What tactic?
No, the after quadrangular tactic.
Oh, I love it.
It was a quote from a movie. I'm not remembering which movie right now.
You're not supposed to be a movie guy. I can't see
maybe
that. I don't like. Yeah.
Maybe Dodgeball. That's like one of the greatest movies of all time. I probably watched it like 9 times.
A true underdog story. So gonna look different for sure. U23s and senior nationals gonna be, I think, pretty epic.
Packed.
Yeah, can't wait. Are you gonna go to those?
I got to assume I'm gonna have a new hip by then, dog. I might be a month in and start getting squirrely or something.
Please don't, Ben. We need this one to hold. Okay, we want this to be more of a long-term solution.
October is gonna be crazy though, because we're gonna have the seniors open, and then we're gonna have Super 32, U23s, UWW juniors.
Who's number one? Who's number one?
That's right in the beginning of
October 3rd.
Right?
Oh October 3rd, baby. October is going to be a great month for wrestling, hopefully.
Heck.
Knock on wood if you're with me. My goodness. Okay.
Yeah, March and April was supposed to be pretty awesome, too.
Yeah, shut up.
Dude, think about what we got ruined. We had the NCAAs in a football stadium. We were only like 6 days away, Kyle, or 5. We're 5 days away. It was close. We were really close.
I know.
It was that week.
Yeah. We got canceled on like the Friday before the Thursday or something like that?
Something like that.
I don't remember
Friday before Black Friday.
I think it was Wednesday, actually.
It was not good.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
It was terrible. Thanks for that, Ben. Here's the real barrel of laughs.
And then we were going to have the Olympic team trials.
That's even worse. Dude, are the Olympics going to happen? I'm in these meetings at Flow, and they're like, it's touch and go if the Olympics even happen.
Flo should just host it then.
Yeah, we'll just host the Olympics. That's right in our wheelhouse. Okay, yeah.
You guys got wrestling and track. You got that, right?
Bowling. Rodeo.
Is that a sport?
I don't know. No, a sport as defined by Nomad, you have to be able to play defense, and you cannot defend bowling or rodeo.
Yeah. Someone else said that to me the other day, because someone said that I play baseball, and that's not a sport, that's a skill. Maybe they stole his definition or something.
That's stupid. You
can play defense in
baseball. Baseball is definitely a sport. Okay, Bracky did an article. Spay refuses to run it though.
I know.
Do you like a message to give to Spay?
I don't know. What's up, man? What gives? What's the big idea?
Is it because Bracky and I wore matching shirts today accidentally?
Yeah. Is it because we're gray shirting today?
Yeah, we're gray shirting too. We're gonna go the Penn State route. We're just gonna live in State College and just hang.
Bracky, if he refuses to run it, just poop in a bag and light on fire on his death.
Should probably do that as an apartment.
That's one of the. Actually, you bring it up. It's one of the cool changes in the coronavirus. We are allowed to do that finally. It's fine. Something about the fumes neutralizes the spread of the virus, so we're good. But talk about this.
So it all started a week ago on this show, when I theorized that heavyweights had the least amount of pins, because I was impressed by the number of pins that Mako had. And my theory was that it was hard to get them to their backs, but as soon as you got them on the back, instant fall. Now that theory turned out to be proved right, because they clearly were not getting off their backs when they got on their backs. I looked at the past 10 NCAA championships, and heavyweight actually had the most pins with 86. And so Ben was right, because he said he pushed back instantly and said that he thought heavyweight had the most pins, and they did with 86. 133 was right behind him. And I found some interesting stuff looking through all this, and it really looked like your weight class, except heavyweight, because there weren't a lot of heavyweight pinners, but if you look at some of the other weights, the weight class pin totals was heavily impacted by the champions.
Yeah.
You have David Taylor rattles off 4, Kyle Dake rattles off 3, but then 174, who was last with only 44 pins over a decade.
That's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, over 10 years.
That is insane.
They're 10
How many
champions.
matches is this, guys? How many matches is this? How many matches are in a bracket?
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot.
60? Something?
Yeah, I looked front side, back side, placing matches, all this stuff.
Oh, my God.
But
Wow.
so they're 10 champions over that decade. Only 2 of them earned falls on their way to the titles. Ed Ruth.
They should be fired. That's
Ed Ruth
embarrassing.
had 2 the year he won at 174, and Zahid Valencia had 1 each at his his NCAA title runs.
But Matt Brown, Storley, Evans,
Embarrassing.
Kokesh,
Terrible.
Chris Perry,
Welps, those guys. One time, Chris Perry did get pinned by Logan Storley. But yeah, in general, it didn't happen like at all.
Yep.
So yeah, out of how many matches there were 44 pins in 10 years? That is kind of insane.
Gotta be 16. I'm gonna say there's like 50 to 60 matches in a bracket. Just kind of guess off the top of my head.
Yeah, 60. So it's like 600 matches, 44 pins.
That's a terrible percentage. 144. I am
Wow.
renouncing my 144-pound citizenship, and I want to join a different weight class because I'm embarrassed of them.
Yeah, so I started with the 2010 NCAA Championships and went to 2019. And then what I found, the year with the most pins in a single bracket was 2012, 133. They had 19 pins. And
that's like a 33%. That's outstanding.
yeah, so Jordan Oliver, BJ Futrell, Chris Dardanes, and Devin Carter had 3. Each of them had 3 pins in the bracket.
Wow.
While Logan Stieber, Tony Ramos, and AJ Schaap had 2 pins of their own. And then one of our favorites, FRL listener, Jordan Tomei, was the only other person to get a pin in the bracket.
Wow.
Nice. Thanks, Jordan.
And then there was 1 year where there was only 1 pin in the entire bracket, and that was 2018, 149 pounds. Zane Rutherford was the only one to get a pin when he pinned
The
Alfred.
whole bracket?
In the whole dang bracket.
There was no other. Stop.
What?
Go look at the bracket.
There's
Cleveland,
no other
2018, 149. No. He only
What?
he had
What?
like 2 tech falls. Zane
I'm
this is
looking
had
this
like 2
bracket
tech
up.
falls. Go
There's
ahead.
no way. There's no way.
Go ahead. I double checked this like 3 times.
I just couldn't believe it.
Yes.
What? 1 pin and all. These guys should be ashamed of themselves.
So there's 64 matches in a 33-man bracket. So
64. Okay.
64 times 10 is 6,400. So
There you go.
there it is.
I'm searching the bracket right now to see if Brecky's wrong.
I think he's right. That's
I
wild.
can't find it. We got tech fall. A couple tech falls.
Yeah, there's a number of tech falls, but pin falls. Only Zane over
There's
Alfred
only
Bannister.
1 pin. Oh my God, that's embarrassing. Wow.
If
You
you,
know what?
put me in that bracket, I could have got at least 2 pins. I would have contributed 2 pins.
That's
I'm
for
not
sure.
I'm not sure. That is for sure.
Hey, so you know what I find interesting about this is that kind of I did those technique breakdowns of the worlds with the help of some of my athletes, and there's no like rhyme or reason. Like you don't see this steadily increasing as the weights go up. So it starts off relatively high. 7. So 125 is the third most. 133 is the second most. And then obviously heavyweight is the most, and then you kind of have a drop off somewhere in the middle. 174 and 84 are both really bad. 149 is really bad, and that was kind of how I felt like technique would be more segregated by weight classes when I did the freestyle point breakdowns, and that just really wasn't the case. And I was really blown away by that.
Yeah.
I thought I would see some kind of, like you were saying, Ben, some kind of pattern or something to this, and there really wasn't a rhyme or reason. And then same with the amount of falls by tournament. I thought maybe
there would be a trend.
Yeah, and there really isn't. I thought maybe from like as we got further away from 2010, they'd go up more, but
Yeah.
it just kind of, I think it really just kind of depends.
Well, it started low
On the field.
Well, it kind of has gone up. 55,
well,
55.
Yeah, but then like 2012 is the highest.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it means. it's interesting that 33 is so high because the story with 33 is always this weight is so good. I mean, for how many straight years are we saying 133 is amazing, amazing? And maybe it's those amazing guys are just chewing through their early round matches. But typically when you think really tough, really deep weight like 174 was, you would say, all right, there's not going to be a lot of pinfalls. But that's not the case with 33.
Actually, funny enough, though, but in the first 4 years of the 10 years, so 10, 11, 12, 13, they have more than half of their falls. They have 45 out of 82.
Yeah.
So I guess that was Oliver Stieber, Ramos.
Oh, my God.
Those guys.
Yep.
Those three were.
Yeah, and they're really, I mean, they're really anchored there by that 19 pinfalls that 1 year. That really helps them.
That is insane. That 1 year could have one. Is that the most of any single bracket?
It's wild because
by a lot.
The next most is 13, so you think that's I mean, that's like a 50% jump over everything else. I mean, it's such an outlier.
Wow. And then, so like I was talking about the NCAA champions having a lot of pins. So 2012 had the most pins, and that was the year that obviously it helps 133 had 19 falls. But if you look at the guys that made the finals, Jordan Oliver had 3 pins on his way to the finals. Logan Stieber had 2. But the NCAA champions that year combined for 14 pins on their way to the titles. And then 2011 and 15, which were the lowest amount of pins, in 2011, the NCAA champions only had 6 pins on their way to the titles. And in 2015, only had 8. Or 9, sorry. But still.
Man. Holy cow. Well, that's good. Well, I know he's not going to run it because of probably some personal vendetta he has against you.
He chatted me and said he's running after FRL.
Oh. Isn't that a likely story?
Uh-huh.
Just kidding. So, okay. Very good. Why don't we... Anywhere you would like to go, Ben, before we get to questions? We have some good ones.
I don't believe I have any more axes to grind this week, but who knows? Maybe next week. New story.
On it? Stay ready. Oh, sorry. I clicked on Facebook.
Ben, can you tell people when you, like the Afton Quadrangular quote, you were not talking about, you know that's from Wes Wesley. Like people in the chat, because you were like, that's from a movie. I don't know where that quote is from. People in the Facebook chat are like, how do you not know this, Ben? It's Greg Warren. He went to Missouri. He's the one that said that. It's Wes Wesley.
What's the Afton Quadrangular?
The Wes Wesley bit?
I'm not sure.
I've
never heard of it.
What? You really didn't know this?
If you say Afton Quadrangular, that's the West. I'm
effing with you guys.
Gosh,
I was talking about the other quote.
I know, and that's what that's what I tried to tell people, and they're like mad at you. I was like, guys, we just had Greg Warren on like 2 weeks ago and talked about Wes Wesley.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, now I'm in the chat here. Matthew Carroll. He wants us fired. That's nice. We know the thing. People thought I was serious with my 6,400 reference. That's funny.
Well, you did say you were bad at school.
I know, but I can just add a 0 at the end of something. That's not really math. That's not the math that tripped me up. The frickin' equations.
And they start putting letters in it.
Yeah. There's letters now. Great. This is perfect.
Blake Barber usually says some pretty dumb things in the chat, but he has an interesting statement here.
Yeah. Unsurprisingly, Fellers fell for it. So kind of saw that one coming.
Blake Barber says 133 might be the weight where the height and musculature differences manifest the most as well. I wonder if there is a zenith of pinning capabilities, where because obviously like a cradle, right? If you're a little bit longer, it's better, right? Say crab riding halves, bars, you generally want to be a little bit longer, I think, which maybe I'm wrong on that because Spencer Lee is fairly short and he's outstanding at them. And that's just my general feeling. But if there was a weight where those type of bodies fit the most, it'd be funny.
Well, we haven't quite done that one yet, but
yeah,
we'll get on it.
We need to get. You guys need to have what you guys need to have at Flow. I got all kinds of good ideas for you guys to spend money. Remember that?
Everybody does.
Yes, it's everyone's favorite hobby: spending our money. Wow.
So, remember that show Sports Science? I don't remember what. Yeah. What if you guys did a sports science lab? You could do like the forces behind the cradle. Start calculating vectors and whatnot.
Well, I've always wondered like what makes some guys so good. I mean, cradle, especially like Ed's crossface cradle, or like it's like very. I don't want to say it's simple, but like everyone basically is taught a really similar cradle, but there's just something that some people do differently. That I don't know. What is it? What is the thing that they're doing? That's always been curious to me. There's one thing. There's like guys like Yanni who are like they set a trap and boom, you're in a cradle, or you did some of that, but you did some of the other as well. But it's like what makes someone able to generate the force? I don't know. How would you measure that though? Like how would you scientifically? I guess that's for the scientists.
I think you would somehow develop some type of thing where you could measure what vector you needed to put the force at to actually make it. And I would have some good, especially on a cradle, I'd have some really good guesses. Yeah, actually, I just had that talk yesterday at Funky Fresh Camp. I was losing my mind because someone was saying like, well, no one would ever do that because that's not ideal, or someone's going to know that's coming. And, it's like, okay, well, first of all, you're assuming everyone's going to do the ideal thing, which is just not true whatsoever, right? And then number two, it's like I use myself, but it's like, okay, I knew Jordan Burroughs was going to shoot a double leg on me, and I'm pretty effing good at wrestling, and I still couldn't stop it. So just because someone knows you're going to do something doesn't mean they can really do anything about it. Now, you got to execute it, right? So there's knowledge and there's execution. It's like, how many people know Jordan Burroughs is going to shoot a double leg, but how many people on the planet can actually stop it?
Yeah.
I mean, the answer is really small.
Bracky, Sidakov, that's pretty much it.
Short list.
It's a short list. We know it's a short list. I came up with two.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We just got to measure the vectors. It sounds like one more simple than I realized.
Right.
Just gotta get a good vector measurement. Okay. We'll get on that. We'll create we'll build a lab. We have a whole section here that's empty. They were gonna use it for like a wrestling area, but I think instead we're just gonna get some sort of scientific lab put in. Nice. Use it for that reason. Okay. All right, this is a question from Roy Donk, which if you watch I Think You Should Leave, you know that is a reference from a really hilarious skit. But if you don't watch I Think You Should Leave, you probably don't know what it means.
Is that a TV show or what is this?
It's on Netflix. Probably once a week for a couple weeks, I just said everyone needs to watch this show. Because
what's Netflix?
So if you imagine Blockbuster online. So he says, question for Bracky. On the new Last Chance U season, thoughts on the new Last Chance U season, and he also wants to know what D1 program would fit the best for a Last Chance U.
So the new Last Chance U season isn't as volatile as the others because
it's not led by a psychopath.
Right, Coach Beam is not Buddy or the real Coach JB, and a complete psychopath. He's actually a good guy and seems to genuinely care for these guys.
Unfortunately. That's not as good TV.
It's not as good TV, but I still enjoy it. These guys, where the other seasons are a lot of D1 bounce backs, like really legit, very good kids. These are kids really just struggling to get by, just trying to make it. It's a different season. I like it, though. I still enjoyed it much. If he were to coach a D1 team, he's Oakland through and through. Like, I feel like he's got to stay there.
He's got to represent.
Yeah. But I want it to be like a bigger school. But like, I think like Cal Berkeley is probably like the biggest school there, but that's not very Oakland.
Yeah, not very Oakland. I don't know what is Oakland beyond outside of Oakland. But no, it's pretty good. I've liked it so far. I really think the first 3 seasons of Last Chance U, you should watch them, Ben. If you just want to learn how to not coach, you should do the opposite of all the things these coaches did, and you'll be in pretty good shape. Because they are truly terrible. But this one is different because they don't even have scholarships. They don't stay on the campus. They don't. Whereas like the other community colleges, they had
dorms, they had athletic scholarships. This one you got guys sleeping in cars, working at Wingstop after practice, guys driving 2 hours commuting to go to school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just trying to make something of their lives.
Definitely more likable.
Who would be the best wrestling coach that would be if there was a Last Chance U wrestling, who would be your best coach for this team?
Man, you need someone that's going to just give them the real these are kids, and not so much on this one. These kids seem to have it together more than most. But like on the other seasons, you need someone that is just gonna shoot them straight and not kowtow to their talent and just be honest and hold them accountable. Because the problem is these kids have not been held accountable in their lives, and I'm talking more specifically about the first 3 years. And so they are like almost out of control. It's almost like they can be fixed, but they have such bad habits ingrained because their talent has just allowed them to get through school, and they're basically illiterate, right? And they get into D1 programs, and then they still maintain the same things. But now that the standards rise and you're not that special anymore, you're in a room with 150 other really talented people, and if you screw up and you break the law or you're just a bad teammate, they just kick you out, right? Because they don't have to count. And then they go back to the same place. So they just need someone. I don't know which coach like holds their team. Maybe a Pat Pop, right? He runs a tight ship. He's pretty.
So you want someone who runs a tight ship? Not. I figured you want someone who's kind of like a wild man a little bit.
Are you trying to help kids, or are you trying to get dubs? Because it may be very.
Well, I was just trying to make an entertaining TV show, actually.
Oh, an entertaining TV show.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously Pat Downey's gonna be an athlete at Last Chance U. Take us some other jabronis who couldn't cut it, and then you put a crazy coach in there, and we got a hell of a TV show.
Well, you could have that, but I also like the contrast of like a super strict guy versus all these kids that just don't have discipline. They just do not have discipline in their lives. So that's my thought.
In season 1, just to like let you know how crazy these coaches are. Buddy literally fist fights a ref.
He punches them.
They literally fight in the middle of a game.
Not fired.
That's not legal.
He was not fired, and then
he's still not fired. He's still a coach.
And it was so funny because like.
What?
So basically, season 1 ends in just like disaster for Buddy, and then season 2 starts, and it's like, oh, it's a kinder, gentler Buddy. He's a new guy. Yeah, I'm new. I've got to.
He's like watching yourself on TV. He's like, man, I was embarrassed.
That was eye opening. Blah blah blah. And then he literally just falls right back into
the exact same guy
almost immediately. He's a total lunatic. And honestly, he's a better coach than the real Coach JB.
Yeah,
the real Coach JB is even worse, if you can imagine. Ben, you will just for a pure entertainment. You should watch these shows. You're gonna like it. This has turned into quite a plug for Last Chance U.
EMCC, where Buddy coaches, they won the national title in 2019.
Salute.
What's EMCC?
East Mississippi Community College.
It's in Scuba, Mississippi.
Scuba, Mississippi.
It looks awesome. So yeah, watch that. Okay. Next question. Oh, CJ Kemp. Do I have a word for you? I could be wrong, but it feels like you guys hate Indiana wrestling. Did our great state do something to hurt you?
Why we hate Indiana wrestling?
No, listen. Anytime someone accuses you of bias, they are biased. And then I did a quick little search. Where's CJ Kemp from? Indiana. So no, we don't hate Indiana. You love Indiana, CJ, and that's great. I love Virginia. I'm probably irrationally biased towards all things Virginia. But no, we don't have anything against Indiana. Great state. Good wrestling.
I was doing some Who's Number One stuff the other day, breaking down who's had the most participants, what state at Who's Number One. Indiana's had 5 people. Chad Redd, Nick Lee, Braden Lee, Joe Lee, Jesse Mendez.
Yeah.
If your last name is Lee and you live in Indiana, you're coming to Who's
Number One. And that's why Spencer was never Who's Number One, because he's not from Indiana. Had he been, no. Of course, he was invited.
Some people will take that seriously, so you better watch yourself.
Yeah.
Well, he was gonna wrestle Who's Number One. He got hurt at
that's right.
Junior Worlds.
Yeah. Was that going to be – who was he going to wrestle?
Justin Mejia.
Oh, my gosh.
We
might have done that child a favor. That would have been bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we don't have anything against Indiana. Indiana's great. Mason Paris, Stefan Micic, great. Andrew Howe. Anyway.
What's the name of every good Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight.
Larry Bird.
Yeah, Bobby Knight. Of course.
Didn't Cuban go to Indiana?
Yes.
Mark Cuban.
I don't
know if he's actually from there, but he went there.
I think he's from there.
I thought you guys were joking about the name Scuba, Mississippi, but that's the real name of the town.
It's really Scuba.
It's called Scuba.
It's SCOOBA though, I think, not like
Yes.
self-contained underwater breathing apparatus abbreviation.
That's what Scuba stands for?
Yeah.
Holy crap, how did I not know that?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
Wow.
I did know that. Okay. Next question. Well, I don't even know if I'm not even going to ask that one. What?
I'm looking at the I scrolled out from what's wrong with Mississippi? I zoomed out from Scuba. Mm-hmm. They have towns called Utah, but it's EUTAW. Like they have one called Booligee, BOLIGEE. They have Boogie Chitto. Like what? Shukalak, SHUQUALAK. Noxapatter. And what is wrong with Mississippi?
I don't know.
A lot of things.
A lot. They're
apparently.
Yeah. They have a lot. They have a lot wrong. I feel for Mississippi. A lot of things not going for it. Okay. Do you think the shortened season will impact the team race? That's from Kyle Reinhardt. Will any teams benefit from a shorter season? Are there any teams where the shorter season will be a detriment to their trophy chances? Well, obviously the main thing is lineup, right?
Yes.
If guys are holding out their best wrestlers, that will have a huge impact. We don't know who's doing what. Rumors are swirling about some teams redshirting a bunch, but we don't know that for sure. The shortened season, it maybe will. I feel like periodization and peaking is something we talk about a lot, and something we've referenced with Penn State, their ability to get their guys wrestling their best. You'll see at Big Tens, they're not always clicking, and then NCAAs, they're just on fire, right? Maybe there's a little less of that science involved, and everyone's basically okay and wrestling about a similar level. Because I feel like for 3 months, and if you're not doing it from November to March and it's just January to March, basically everyone people will be healthier and people will be less bumped and bruised and tired, right? Mm-hmm. Now, there may be still a gap of which Penn State or some of the teams that peak better do that, but I think it will be lessened. So perhaps their peaking advantage will be reduced. I'll say that.
I thought you kind of thought peaking was a fake thing, didn't you?
I don't think it's a fake thing. I think it's maybe a little
overrated.
Overrated, yeah.
Got it.
No, there's something to it. Okay. Next question. Someone, Pyle's Russian accent says we're under investigation by the Justice Department for delaying the Metcalf doc. Until they have proof that it's coming out in September, the investigation will continue. I will cooperate with the investigation. I'm an open book.
Thank God.
Yeah.
September 9.
Yep, September 9th. That's all alleged. I've never said that for sure, but
we have permission to jail you or something if it's not out by September 9.
Yeah.
I think you should have some type of public humiliation if it's not up. Maybe you got to get on the desk right there and plank for 1 hour or something.
That will take days. Well, I don't understand why I am the one being held responsible for this. I don't edit the video.
You're the man in charge.
Not really. Not that. All right. I'm not in charge of anything. All right. Next thing. Which is better for wrestling? This is from Mikey Nay. Cox and Snyder both stay at 97 and alternate making the team for the next 4 years. 2, Snyder beats Cox. Cox goes back to 92 for non-Olympics. 3, Cox beats Snyder. Snyder goes up to 125. 4, both stay at 97, but no one dominates the rivalry. Better alter for wrestling. What's going to make the most interesting thing? I think
wrestling.
You want to know mean? Well, I don't know. Which is all better overall thing.
Okay.
Here's my thought. I think the best thing is those two at the same weight for 4 years, just
really
battling it out, dude. That's awesome.
But we don't have another gold medalist at one of the other weight classes. Then
yeah, I am Listen, one, we'll get them. Two, if not, I would rather sign me up for 4 years of awesome domestic rivalry.
All right, I call it audible. I'm doing number 5. Number 5, USA Wrestling puts in a procedure whereas previous world gold medalists can choose to wrestle off after the trials for a different weight class.
Heretofore. Yeah, okay, that's fine too. But I want those guys battling it out. I like when Jordan and Dake are wrestling each other every year. That's great. That's a good thing. I want, the lightweights. I want Dayton and Gilman and Spencer and not Miocic. Gross. All those guys wrestling each other every year. I know I probably forgot some big names in there. Vito, Suriano. Let's go every year. I don't want them bouncing around different weights. It'll just be more fun that way.
But that's not. Those guys aren't proven world medalists, whereas Jaden and Kyle are, and we don't have another proven world medalist at 92 to replace that person. I like a heavyweight. I don't get that excited about Kyle going to heavyweight because we have Gwiz there who's won world medals, and then we have another guy, Gable, and possibly a few other guys who we think can in the future win more world medals. Whereas I don't really. Who is that at 92?
Well, here's the thing. If Jaden wins, that means he's not going 92, and Snyder can't make 92. Therefore,
he could do it if he had to.
Really?
I don't know. Why not?
Well, I thought you had some sort of intel there, Ben.
No, I don't. It's like if he had to, he could. That's what 92 is. What 203?
Yeah, he made 97.
It would 92 kg is 203 pounds.
Yeah. I'm saying I should have said 197 in college.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was tough for him. I don't think he liked it.
Yeah, but at the same time, he was probably trying to bulk up a little bit to be good at 97 also, so he had a balance there.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Ben might like this question. Who knows? Nick Croninger, what are ways that media and tech are impacting the wrestling that we don't immediately recognize? Example, I think kids are much more comfortable being on camera than people were even 10 years ago, and makes champs appear more relaxed and therefore nicer.
And more likable. The more real you can be, the more just like calm you can be on camera, the more likable you come off as well, in my opinion. I would just say too, I think wrestlers are getting better because they can watch wrestling. I mean, dude, I couldn't watch wrestling growing up. I mean, it literally wasn't possible. It wasn't possible for me to watch wrestling. And now so many kids are consuming so much wrestling, it definitely makes them better.
Yeah, I think that's an apparent way. Okay. I'm just wondering if there's like others that are less apparent. Like I didn't really consider that. Yeah, guys are getting so much more media experience than they were previously. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
So that's apparent. Okay, so non-apparent, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about non-apparent.
Yeah, maybe Nick nailed the only one. We'll think about it. That's maybe a deeper one. Okay. Have I ever considered retaliating against people who call me Pile by just adding an S to the end of their names? Chales, Ben Askrens, Brackies. Yeah, maybe I could do that. I could retaliate. I call Ben Benjamin to irritate him. So that's my retaliation there. Make him sound like...
Get under my skin so much.
I can tell you're absolutely shook. Cooper Wills, have you guys ever encountered any non-wrestlers who shrug off ringworm like wrestlers do? This comes from several encounters I've had with people who freak out when I say I've had ringworm before. That is a pretty common thing.
It's just ringworm.
I know. That's the point. All wrestlers are like, it's just ringworm. It's not a big deal. And then anyone else, anyone that's not in the wrestling community that hears ringworm, that's not in medicine, hears ringworm and they freak out.
How many ringworms have you had in your life, Christian?
A lot. I had it for a period of time that I don't want to talk about. I could not get rid of this stuff. It was like the whole arm. It was terrible. But so yeah, a lot of times I've had it. Not as bad as you though. I hear you just get it all the time.
I had not anymore.
Really?
When I was younger though, do
you defend what you built? Is that why?
I do love Defense Soap. Nice promo. Hey, you know what? Someone just reminded me. You guys owe me push-ups. P.S.
We do.
You should do them to end the show today. You guys should do them.
Okay.
All right. I don't know how it's
On
going to be
camera.
on camera.
How are we
On
gonna,
camera.
How?
Do them on the table. On the table. Right there. Right there. On the
50
table.
push-ups on the table? Okay.
I'm not getting on the table.
He's not getting on
Come
the
on,
table.
Brecky, you made a bet. You
I
gotta
know.
get
I'll
that
do
on.
them.
Why did we
I'm not
lose?
doing
I-
them on
I
the
know I
table.
lost.
Put it on. Okay, put it on Flo's
right.
Instagram then.
Just
Instagram
someone
story.
Yeah, someone will video it.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
What did we do to... I know we lost. I just don't remember what it was for.
Remember
Bet for the pro matches.
Yeah.
I still don't remember. What about pro matches?
We bet on the pro matches. You guys did betting
Oh, the
lines.
betting
I
lines.
thought you were trolling. I thought you were trying to act like you
No,
didn't remember.
I forgot. I was like, what about the pro matches? But now I remember.
What's up with your gold chain? You
Oh.
got one now too?
Yeah, I got a gold chain. So I don't really wear a gold chain, but I have one now because I don't know if my son's listening, but
He's not listening.
he's not listening. Katie, if he's listening, get him the heck out of the room. She doesn't even listen. I don't even know.
All you gotta say is earmuffs, and then you can just say whatever you want, Christian.
Earmuffs. But we're taking him to the Houston Astros Stadium, Minute Maid Park today to tour it. And okay, so what does that have to do with the gold chain? So
Ooh,
Caleb
jackpot.
now is basically turned into the villain from a Sandlot remake type of thing because he wears gold chains like his favorite Houston Astros. He wears these like polarized sunglasses like his favorite baseball players. He looks like he's a kind of a square, but he's totally looks like a bad boy. But anyways, so I'm wearing I got gold chains so I can match my son.
You should
What do
you
you
should
think?
troll the tour leader the whole time. Like, are we gonna see the video camera that they used to cheat with?
Or should I talk about the trash?
Where's
should
the
I
trash?
tell-
Where's the trash
so
can?
trash cans?
We
Yeah.
want to see the trash cans that
I don't
they
know how
hit.
I need to talk to Joe Kania about like gold chain etiquette. I've never worn necklaces. If my dad's listening, he's like really irritated because he doesn't think
Oh, he wants to fight you.
men are supposed to wear necklaces. Hey, listen to this. You're gonna like this. You like Tracy Piles' Savage stories, Ben.
Absolutely.
So randomly, like my mom calls me and she's like, "Hey, I'm driving to New York." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know you were going." Her family's from New York, whatever. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, she goes, "Dad made me leave. He said, yeah, I have to go to New York because he's gonna be working around the house. He doesn't want anyone around." So she just like gets kicked out of the house. He tears up basically our entire house was carpeted. He's torn up all the carpet in the house. He's
He's just by himself right now.
by himself. Well, this was like a week or so ago.
He just kicked everyone out.
He did to get out. Weston was here, so like no one was around, and
Oh my gosh.
so he tears up. He paints the entire downstairs, rips up all the carpet we have like kind of a big downstairs area. Everything was carpet. Tore it all up. Got new rugs down. Whole thing. While she was gone, just made her leave. She said, "I don't want you around. This is just gonna be in the way." So
This is man stuff. Get out of here.
exactly right. So yeah, he did that.
That's awesome.
Okay. Yes, I do have a gold chain. 2 of them actually.
I just haven't noticed the bling.
Yeah, a little something,
It was
something.
blind to me.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. How do you think a healthy Imar versus Sidikoff match goes? Or Chimezo? For some reason, I feel he matches up well with Sidikoff. I don't know if he does or he doesn't. So they're both kind of underhook guys. Sidikoff can really wrestle from everywhere, but they both like an underhook. So it's weird. It's not like one guy likes it. Like Imar liked an underhook, and Chimezo was really good at wrestling out of an overhook. So it's like, all right, who prevails? But with this one, obviously I would favor Sidikoff. The dude beat Burroughs twice. No one does that, really. So probably him. But I don't think it's a blowout. I think Imar is certainly world-class, world level, extremely good. And once he gets healthy, he's going to be super awesome, right?
Yes.
And now how does he do against Chimezo? I think Chimezo is a tougher matchup for Imar for some reason. Because I don't think he's going to be able to. Listen, Date couldn't impose his control ties.
I still feel like it's close because I feel like Chimezo wrestles close with almost everybody.
Yes, I agree with that. But I think, just think of what a hard time Dake had controlling Chimezo. And then I think Dake is better at that than Imar. And then there's So that's why I think it's just a tougher matchup, even though it may be closer. Okay. Gabe Dean wants to wrestle on. He said on the Bader Show he wants to wrestle a match on Flow. Can we make this happen? That'd be awesome. Someone asked if he would have fared better than DT than Martin did.
Well, that's hard for worse.
It's yeah. I would like to think he would have done better, but I don't know. I mean, that version of David Taylor maybe just. I think it's probably ultimately the same result. A match termination would have been that fast. I don't know. But, yeah. I would love to see Gabe Dean wrestle again. I don't like that he, he just stopped entering tournaments. He was just one of those guys, he didn't wrestle after, that. Basically, it was that Open in 2017, and we never saw him again, right?
He said he would wrestle Colin Moore. I was hanging out. We were hanging out in the lobby after late night. He said Colin Moore. Who else did he say he wanted to wrestle? He wanted to wrestle Bo Nickel again. I thought that was awesome.
That would be awesome. That was a good match when they wrestled.
Who else did he say? I can't remember. He named a few names that he'd like to wrestle. I would like to see him in there. I'd be happy to see that.
Blake Barber's got some pretty funny advice here for your gold chains. If you're gonna wear a gold chain, you need a low cut shirt and moderate to high amounts of chest hair. Do it right or not at all.
Oh, I'm good on the chest hair, brother. You just can't see it, but I got that going.
That's why you need the low cut.
I just need a low cut
shirt.
I need a V.
A tank.
Right. You know what? I don't know if Blake's the authority on this. I got two authorities on gold chains here at Flow, Michael Sears and Joe Kania. I'm gonna consult them, and they'll set me straight. Also, Mike Mal, he doesn't wear a gold chain, but I feel like he'll just
he can advise you.
He can advise me. He can be very, very helpful. So. I like this one just because I just think it's a funny shirt. But what would it take for me to wear this shirt? And it's Zauerbach Sidikoff in some
I saw that
Tadiev shirt. I don't know.
Does it say Tadiev is my homeboy in Russian? Is that what it says?
I kind of wonder if it does. It clearly says his name, Tadiev, on top of it. Tyler's frantically working to pull it up. I can tell. But I don't know. I'd wear it probably. Just because it's kind of a cool shirt. It's got a Russian wrestling coach.
You hated him.
Yeah, I don't like him, but as I said, I wore a shirt with Marlo Stanfield, which if you watch The Wire, is basically he's like evil personified. He's just a terrible person, but he's this bad guy on The Wire. So I wore that shirt. So why not?
It's very different than a made up show. And
I could say
this guy.
I could also say. Hey, you know what? This shirt says no one else can read Russian except for, a very small number of people. I'll be like, this says Tadiev is a bad wrestling coach, and I don't like him. So I can make it whatever I want it to be. So, yes, I would wear that shirt.
What a sellout.
Oh, okay, here we go. I'm a sellout. There it is. It's good enough for Sidikoff. Maybe I'll wear it. I don't dislike that guy. Okay. Any other questions? There's quite a few.
You got
any
more brain busters for us, Christian?
I don't know if I have any other brain busters. Would you wear that shirt, Ben?
Oh, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I'd wear John. No, I never had John Smith as my homeboy shirt. I might wear that one time.
Do you have one?
No, I don't. But that was a funny shirt.
I would wear that. Then I'd be like, I would wear it, but then I would be like, man. It would just make me sad because John Smith is not my homeboy. It's like,
aww.
I'd be like, man, I wish. Oh my gosh. Tyler's doing something. Do you see what he's doing, Ben? Look, he's like, all right, now we can really.
I love it.
Let me slink down here.
I watch it on the Facebook, so I'm like, I'm quite a bit behind.
Yeah, so that's what it would look like. Anyway,
like
here's one. Bracky will have a good one on this. Cooper Wills, who is the Oregon of college wrestling insofar as having the most cool singlet? So if you watch college football, Oregon always has crazy lime green. Some of them are terrible, but they always have decked out uniforms, and you never know what they're going to wear. So for a while there, I felt like Ohio State for a while there. And now
they have a pretty set rotation now with the white.
Oklahoma State's in 2013, 14 are some of my favorites ever.
They've been getting wild. I like how they get away from the orange every now and then. They have whites, they have black, they have the gray.
Edinburgh will get.
Edinburgh gets a little crazy.
They'll get freaky with it.
Yeah.
I gotta say the Hokies always have some really nice singlets.
They do.
Missouri's got some tiger stripes.
Yeah, they wear that white one. I don't really like white singlets. I don't know.
I like white singlets.
That may be a little counter to the mainstream. Well, who else? That's probably it. There's probably other ones that are mad, but those are the ones that stick out.
Penn State, they're just always changing it up.
Well, they change it up more than like Iowa does.
Iowa's always changing it up.
Iowa, sometimes they take the bird off the leg. They did that once. Now the bird's not on there. That's basically it. Okay. Well, that's it. The week is over for FRL. We're going to call it right now.
Sad. That's really sad.
You have no more camp, though.
No, I'm going right now. Finish camp ends at 11:30. I got another practice tonight.
Y'all join Crossfaces? Crossface day, right?
Today is for camp, today is just review day because it's the last day. So we just kind of, review them on everything that they've hit this week. For camp, for practice, let me see. I have so many different groups. I have my practice plans written down. I will tell you what we are drilling, though, tonight.
I can't
wait. Tonight I have it's pretty much drill review, tilt review, and leg ride defense is what's on the docket for practice tonight.
Ooh.
So, yeah, leg ride defense, that's a tough one. That's a freaking beast right there.
Yeah, so that's like, I feel like when you read about like college adjustments, it's like that's one of the toughest ones. Some dudes just do not know how to get out of legs.
It's like that's like, some guys probably have nightmares about that. Like some people have that nightmare where they're falling all the time.
Yeah.
Some dudes' heads, someone's got a leg in on them and they can never escape.
That's terrible. Did you ever have trouble with that, Bracky? You wrestled?
Mm-hmm. No, I did.
Legs with
longer.
Oh, you struggled against legs?
Yeah, no, I did against like guys that really knew how to ride. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what it is. I mean, believe me, getting out of legs is hard. But what is it about that technical challenge that people can't get out of them?
I'll tell you what my opinion. So my opinion is it's people hate that position so much that they refuse to put themselves there often enough in practice, right? And a lot of people like to only practice things they're already good at. So you got to force yourself to be in those positions, and not only just in a leg, but then in a leg with the power half. In a leg, you're on your belly. Like in those real shit situations, which suck. Like you have to spend time there in order to get better there. Otherwise, you're always just going to suck there. And then you're going to have this mental block because if that happens, you're screwed. So then you are, you're also worried about that. So there's this mental block to go along with the technical block because you've never been there. So you don't actually know how to get out of there.
So it's a double blockade situation. It seems like that one rears itself the most.
Leg right defense.
Yeah. Right.
I agree. It's one of those positions where, for me, there's no middle, right? It's either you suck, you can't get out, you're terrible, right? Or you're great. And it's like a guy like David Taylor, like throw a leg on him and you're going to get reversed at best, but probably worse, you might be going to your back, right?
Yeah.
So there's like the two ends of the spectrum, and there's very few things in the middle, and there's not a lot of positions where I feel that way about.
Yeah. He got a lot of reversals from guys. He would put the leg in too. He would like.
Yeah. And so that's almost like, right. So then on that one side, you have the guy who has nightmares about legs being in, and you can definitely pick who that is. And that's where I say, now I'm kind of getting on my soapbox, but some college coaches, they lack the ability to have skill development where it's like, I say, one of my college kids in May, I said, listen to this, guys, if all we do this month, I worked with my college kids when coronavirus was happening. Don't tell anyone. I don't think it can get me in trouble, but whatever. No one's listening.
No one's listening.
No one heard anything.
I was working with just the college guys for a while because, they were at home, whatever. And I said, listen, let me ask you this one question. If no one can leg ride you next year, will you be a better wrestler? Yeah. And the answer is yes. Of course I will be. Okay, well, let's I know you hate it, but let's just work on that all month. That's all we're going to work on. That's it.
Yeah. It's genius. That's what they should do.
Yeah.
So we'll see if any of them get ridden by legs, but you didn't implicate any names, so you're literally clean. You cannot be charged with a crime. But we were leaving, but that was fun little detour as we say adieu to you, and we thank you so much for listening. 532 strong, my goodness. Hope you guys have a fun and safe and everything great weekend. We'll be back next Tuesday. Who knows what we'll be talking about? I have no idea. You have no idea.
You tell us.
You tell us. Honestly, that's kind of the way it's going. Somehow we're still able to get an hour and 15 minutes at minimum every show. That's pretty good. We're doing pretty good, Ben. We're going to keep it going. We thank you guys for keeping us going. We'll be back. Have a good weekend. It's going to get better. See you guys.
Peace.